Hello everybody, and welcome back to Noel's Family Garage. Today we're working on a four-wheeler. It's a Honda Rincon 650, and please like and subscribe if you guys like the content that I'm bringing you guys. It helps the channel to grow, and hopefully I can do this for a full-time job eventually is what I'm hoping to do. So the more subs the merrier, and I think once the channel monetizes, I think I'm gonna do some kind of a giveaway. I don't know what I'll give away yet, but it'll be something awesome. Please like and subscribe, and we'll get this show on the road. Hey everybody, today we're doing a little different video, so just stay tuned. I think we'll jump right into it. We got a Honda Rincon. It's an 2005 Rincon. It hasn't been ran in a few years. It's got really rotten gas in it. I tried pulling the choke cable out of the carburetor and it's like rotted in there. You can't even get it out. So what I did is I bought a carburetor from Amazon, because the stock carburetor for this thing, it's like almost $500. So I was like, I'm not gonna go that route. So we ended up buying a $50 carburetor. So we'll go ahead and see how that stacks up and see if it does good and works and runs fine like it's supposed to. And then I guess we'll know that if it's good or not. So stay tuned and I'll show you guys as we go. Alright, so I got this old carburetor out. I'm going to go ahead, I'll show you guys what they look like. I think they both look pretty much the same, so we'll see how this new one functions. The old one wasn't functioning anymore. I think it's had water in it for a few years, so it's kind of screwed up. But I'll show you guys real quick. So what we've got here's the old one. Everything else on this one, it all is the same. The plugs are all the same. And everything looks the same on this side, right? So let's flip her over and look at the other side. This one, there's the old one again. New one looks just identical. It's got all the same hoses, same little choke looking deal. It's like I think it's a hot start, I don't know. But this one's froze up solid. You can't even, it'll turn but you can't pull it or push it. This one just pumps like it's supposed to. So I'm gonna go ahead and stuff this new carburetor in there. I've already drained out the fuel tank and sloshed around some new gas and let it run out into a bucket. So I should be able to get her to fire up, I think, once I get the new carb on it. I am waiting on a new throttle or a choke cable. Throttle cable's fine, but I'm still waiting on a new choke cable because the one that is on it, it's froze up because I think it had moisture that got down in it. And I'm not so sure that the moisture didn't get down. If you can see down in there, let's see if I can hold this and show you at the same time. So where my finger is, in that hole, that stuff is totally rotted together and became one. So it's junk. That piece down in there won't even spin, so it's garbage. This one, yeah, like this one, you can push this up and down. The diaphragm's good. This one, it's harder than heck to push it up. It doesn't even want to push up, and then it barely comes back down. So it's probably garbage, but we'll put the new one on there that was cheap and see how it functions. So this one, you can get these for around 50 bucks. But if you go, and I got it on Amazon, but if you go online or even on Amazon and you find the one that's the actual one for the four-wheeler, that's a factory OEM one, you're looking at like $450, $500 minimum. If these will work, it's really not worth buying the $450, $500 one, especially with the crappy gas we have nowadays. You have to, around here where I live, you got to go to the bulk plant, or a couple of the gas stations actually have non-ethanol fuel, but you want to run non-ethanol in everything. As far as bikes and chainsaws and four-wheelers, all that kind of stuff, you just want to run non-ethanol because the ethanol eats everything up and ruins it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this carburetor back in, and then I'll turn this back on and we'll see if this thing will fire up. Alright, so here's my new carburetor. It's all in, and I put a new air filter in it. I still got to do a tune-up. I'm going to do a spark plug, which is right here, and I got to do the oil filter and the oil. But I got all the old gas out of the tank. I pulled it off, drained it out, put it back on, start putting it all back together. But if I turn the key on, my red ranch down there. I gotta do a little more tuning on this four-wheeler, but the carburetor seems to be just fine. I got everything plugged in, throttle position sensor, all that stuff. So I'm waiting on a choke cable still. Right now the piece for the choke is all the way, it's just bouncing around in there, and that's probably why it's running kind of crappy still. But I can't really do nothing with that until I get the new choke cable, so I'm not gonna put all of it back together yet. Like, I got this little breather tube that I'm gonna have to pull back off. This one right here to get the choke cable in, the new choke cable. Like, that's just stuck in there right now. But I don't know, as long as that carburetor runs decent in here, I don't really care to buy a $450 or $500 carburetor if I can get it to do just what I need it to do with this $50 carburetor. So I'm gonna get this thing finished up, and I'm gonna take it and give it back to my customer. Then we'll move on to bigger and better things once we get that cable anyway. But I think I'm going to go ahead and try to figure out where the choke cable's routed, put back on as much of the plastics as I can, because I don't need them all off anymore. So we'll get them all put back on, and then maybe we'll go ahead and do the oil change and everything. But I'll do a little video once I get it all done and everything tuned up. We'll add to this video, and I can show you guys what it takes, and I can actually show you. So here's the number on this. Made China, of course, very freaking thing else. So I can turn this over. Caltric carburetor, cart compatible with X650FA, a TRX 650FA, Rincon 650 4x4, 2003, 2004, 2005. But you might be able to use that number right there if you need a carburetor, this carburetor. But I don't know. So I'm gonna go ahead and get things put back together, and then maybe we'll take this thing on a little ride once we get it put back together. I just want to make sure it's gonna function properly for the customer. The customer that this belongs to, he's actually a guy that worked for the same company as me. Now, back when I was probably like 18, 19, somewhere around there, when I went to work for a company in St. George. So I'm doing this for him now. So I'll get the rest of this stuff done, and then we'll maybe do a little video, and we'll go over how to do all these things on this thing. So I'll catch you guys shortly. Alright, so we got the old four-wheeler going. I actually rode it around a little bit just a minute ago. It actually runs really good with that carburetor, but I still got the oil change to do, which I'm not going to bore you guys with that. But we got the choke cable changed out. Alright, so I got the oil change to do on that four-wheeler, and then I will be sending it back to its owner, and then they were talking about either selling it or maybe riding it a little bit this summer. But alright, I'm on the Honda Rincon right now. We're gonna go ahead and take it for a little ride up the road and back and make sure everything's functioning fine. I got the carburetor tuned, oil changed, the choke cable's all changed, so we'll go ahead and we're gonna run this thing up the hill real quick and see how she does, so stay tuned for that. So that thing actually runs dang good. If they decide to sell it, I may buy it. But that's gonna about wrap it up for this video. So please like and subscribe, and I'll take you guys on some adventures for some other stuff as we go. So thanks for watching.